Okay, this is Daniel of Vegematic 10, and we're here to coach Riven. Riven, top lane in Platinum ELO against, what is the matchup? It seems like it's Rumble? Alright, Rumble. Alright, I'm gonna move this real quick. Let me just adjust. I'm doing a coaching with,
Welcome to Summoner's
with this team
Rift.
comp. Alright, well, I'm doing a coaching with Baron Replays, which is not something I typically do. And as soon as this is done, it should be uploaded right away. I just hope that I'm not crashing or anything. Looking around the stream to see if anything fishy is going on. Anyway, we're gonna get started with talking about Riven, the champion in general. The champion is extremely
30 seconds until
highly
minions
mechanical skill demanding. It's very like there are so many things that Riven players can do that only Riven players can do, and unless you have the mechanics for the champion, you shouldn't really be playing it in the lower elos, because if you had the mechanics that really suited the champions, you would be in a much higher elo. Most likely this is going to be a win, because everybody sends me wins, they never send me losses, except for like one of my most recent videos actually. So let's get started with the game. Okay, so the first thing he's gonna do is he's gonna leash his jungler, Maokai. And that's fine, there's nothing wrong with that. Alternatively, if Maokai chose to start bot lane, which is the typical start for the jungler, Riven can also do a full DPS combo in order to hit level 2, which would grant her lane pressure. Because you would actually, you get level 2, you'd have QE, which would enable you to win trades against champions like, you know, Rumble, because Rumble, you don't know what Rumble's going to skill up, but it's likely that he'll skill up 2 to try to hit 2 faster than you. And if he's not leveling up Q, he might level up W to try to trade with you, which is not really the most optimal option. But knowing, when you're playing Riven, it's a champion that you don't really want to, you have to already like know the game in order to really want to just play Riven. It's kind of like how Faker picked Riven up for the very first time. He already knew how to play League at the highest level, so all he had to do was just like mechanically play Riven a little bit, and then that's why he had accumulated such a perfect record, 90-something% win rate in high elo pre-masters in season 3. And already showing that this player has already missed CS. Not only that, but he also chose to use his Q twice instead of twice to CS rather than last hitting to CS. The most optimal thing you can do as Riven is trade with your auto attacks and Q combinations, because the animation canceling counts as a lot to this. So this player really lacks that. Second, she waited way too early and popped the potion. So let's get on to every single little detail that's wrong. All right, we're gonna start with every little thing that can make or break a Riven player. First, this is acceptable. This is acceptable. There's nothing wrong with this right here specifically. She's casting Q because she came to lane a little late, but why did she come to lane late? Maybe could she have come to lane sooner? Let's find out. Okay, so what made this a problem was that she decided not to use her entire Q combo in order to assist Maokai in a leash. It was just the strategy was simple. Q or Q auto, Q auto, Q auto. You get the maximum amount, or auto Q auto, Q auto, Q auto, and just pretty much repeat the combination. And the whole point of that is so that you maximize your DPS. At the same time, you're assisting your jungler, because that knockup, you know, prevents Gromp from attacking once, which saves Maokai some damage and potentially saves him a pot, which enables him to clear it much more efficiently in the jungle. So continuing on. After doing a full combo, you know, this thing has a 12-second cooldown. By the time you get to lane, you should have it back up in theory. But she waited too long. She Q'd, waited, and then like Q'd afterwards. Way too late, way too much of a waste of time. Let's get back to it. So, like I said, this is acceptable to get the CS. And what happens is she does not actually get the CS, which is kind of odd. At the same time, she chooses to make a direct movement. Alright, let me access paint. Where's my paint option? Where's my paint option? Okay. Okay, so we're gonna put this as blue because he's on blue side. We're gonna put red as the enemy, like trying to match up the display of the sides. So after queuing once, you still have, you know, two queues at your disposal, right? So queuing once, she should have gotten this CS right here, which, you know, puts the CS count at 1. Afterwards, he issued a movement command right here, which, you know, forced his character to look back. So he's gonna miss the CS on purpose too. And the only way to get back to it is to cast another Q out of your 3 Qs. So I'm gonna see if she gets the CS. I'm gonna slow motion it. Okay, she does. Luckily, this melee minion did not auto it right there. Now she Qs backwards. Why? That is the next question. Every time you cast Q, you have Riven's passive, which enables her to, which it doesn't innately boost her AD, but what it does is it makes her next auto attack empowered with a set of AD. It doesn't boost her AD immediately. It just makes it so that her next attack will add AD if I read it correctly. Let's see. Yeah, each of her basic attacks consumes an available charge. She can have up to 3 charges. So after casting Q 3 times, your next auto attack will deal it will deal 60 bonus damage. But the whole point of but it's only 1 auto attack. The reason why people have to attack in between their Qs is very simple. Oh, fucking hell. Alright, let me get back to it. The reason why people auto attack in between their Qs as Riven is because when you Q, you get a stack of your passive, which means your next AA will have plus 20 damage. So let's say her base AD is 86, right? So her next auto attack will deal 106 damage. Then she Qs again, then she AAs again, which will deal 106 damage. Then she Qs again for the 3rd time, and then she'll do her last auto attack, which cannot be interrupted. Like there's no way she can fuck up the 3rd auto attack because they're knocked up in the air because this is the 3rd Q. And that auto attack will also deal 106 damage. Now, what separates the good Rivens from the bad Rivens is when they auto attack. If she chose to use Q 3 times in a row without auto attacking in between each Q here and here, and instead chose to do it here, she would get a plus 60 charge. Right? Because, you know, she didn't Q the first 2 times, and after each charge she gets a passive, then another passive, then another passive. That's 3 passives. So that means that her last auto attack will do 146 damage. But in reality, she actually just lost 2 auto attacks here. So the total damage for all 3 would be 106 times 3 versus just doing a 146. And you already can tell that 106 that this is much superior than this. That's why auto-attacking in between every single ability is very important. Mashing your keyboard is fine too, but like, you know, like what separates the good Riven players from the great Riven players is like managing the auto-attacks correctly. And animation canceling is also very important too, because the faster you do it, I mean, like if you Q then you auto attack while moving at the same time, issuing a movement command. If you also do the Q movement command plus auto attack movement command, you maximize your DPS because the Qs and auto attacks come out sooner, and the sooner that they come out, the more damage you can deal in such a short amount of time. Therefore upgrading your DPS, you know, damage per second. Anyway, let's get back to this. God, that's annoying. Okay. She has a 3rd charge in Q. Right? She used 2 already. Either 1 or 2. Okay. She's playing against a Rumble who has cloth armor and 5 health pots. In this situation, he has more resources in terms of health, and he can kind of tank. He can kind of duel you in the early game. You know, he has the option to bully you. So you should be very careful when it comes to trading because you don't have a way to shield yourself. Same time, you know, you don't. I mean, you're not level 2. That makes sense, right? You also have less health potions than him. Luckily, all your abilities scale off of AD, so you'll have a pretty beefy shield when it starts out. Now, why is this so awkward? Well, around this time, remember what I said in a previous video. I've stated that you should be thinking about how junglers start their routes. So in theory, if in a correct world, I'm gonna screenshot up here. Actually, this will be better. In a correct, stabilized, non-low elo or decent world, let's just go with that. The junglers would start. Both junglers would, you know, mirror each other in terms of sides. In this case, like they are technically mirroring each other, but we're gonna talk about it as if it were like an original game. So everyone, the bot lane leashes down here, then the jungler goes to this camp, and they have the option to. The typical route, I mean, is to do these two, and then transition to straight over to red buff. I mean blue buff or red buff, depending on the side, and then gank right away, right? Which means that by the time, if you're gonna calculate the time that it takes for the enemy jungler to get to your side, because both junglers are mirroring each other, that would mean that by the time Maokai is over here, that is around the time that you should be placing your ward. Not right here. This would mean that you're worried that their jungler should theoretically have finished this buff, into up here, and then just ganked you. But if you ward this early, it means that you think that they finish these two buffs and are gonna gank you immediately. Which, you know, by that time, which is like right equivalent to now, it's not gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen because it's too short. And there's also the case that what if their jungler's too low and they probably have to burn 2 pots? It's not worth it. It's not worth it to gank so early for the jungler. But that's all in an idealistic situation because Riven was so busy leashing Maokai that she probably isn't paying attention to where the enemy has come from. Like if we don't know if, because this is a replay, so I know, but in her mind, because this is why I don't like doing fucking replays and I prefer to do VODs, we don't know if Riven checked when their bot lane showed up. So if their bot lane showed up early, did their bot lane show up late? If they showed up early, that means that the Rengar definitely started here, or is likely that the Rengar doesn't need a leash. If the bot lane shows up late, it's likely that they started here, which means that his typical route will be Gromp to blue to red to top to gank, around 3 minutes time. Now, the other option is that, you know, if their bot lane showed up early, then it's 1 to 2 to 3, then it ganks up that gank a bot lane gank. It's rarely ever that you see a top lane gank unless he goes 1, 2, 3, 4, then to top. But in which case you should also be watching how fast your Maokai clears, because you're assuming that both junglers are equivalent in terms of clearing speed. So by the time that Maokai finishes 1, 2, 3, that would mean that Rengar has also finished 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3. But you have to basically, like, but whatever Maokai does, pretend that the enemy jungler is doing the exact same thing on the opposite side, and then, like, when your jungler is done doing his second buff, that means that, oh, their jungler must be roughly done around the same time too. Now I'm gonna place my ward down here at the edge of the bush, so that I have a 1 minute window to play safe. And then let's talk about this ward. Zoom out. Okay. I've talked about this with another person before, but placing the ward here instead of here makes a subliminal difference. So placing it here gives you, well, as we can see, this much vision. Now, I don't know, I don't have Photoshop but, to the ability to like make multiple layers, but in theory, all this vision right here is going to be shifted down if you move it in here. So if you moved it down here, all this extra vision, this giant gap, let's say it's this big, like this giant eye, I'm gonna put it like in an estimate, but it's gonna be a little bit bigger. Like, it's not gonna be like that big, because, you know, it's a circle. But in theory, this extra vision is worthless. Like, what the hell? Are you serious? Is this kind of vision? Like, they will, when they walk through here, you've already seen them. All this is irrelevant because your face is right here, and your face can see all of this. Placing it down here means that you can see them coming in from the river, assuming that Rengar, you know, has the possibility of starting down here, going through the scuttle. You would see him sooner, therefore you'd back off sooner. But now, since this ward is so far up over here, by the time he gets here, and like, let's say you're in the middle of the lane, it's too late to react, and like, you probably don't have the map awareness to be able to like jump in time if their Rumble decides to force you to commit. because a good top laner would bait a jungler into ganking by forcing you to commit into a 1v1. He's like, hey, Rumble wants to fight you. Riven's gonna respond, or Rumble wants to fight you 1v1. So Riven accepts the challenge. They start dueling, and then a Rengar shows up out of nowhere from a gank, and it's too late for you to spot it because it's too, you know, like this. It's not gonna work. Also, what this does is, if the let's say the jungler, enemy jungler is smited red buff, right? So that would mean that he has the, you know, the icon and the exclamation mark on top of him. When he enters the bush, he's gonna realize, oh, the ward's right here. Now, what if he did it down here? This means that he not only would have to perform, obviously perform 3 auto attacks, right? But by doing it down here, performing 3 auto attacks down here, it gives you enough. It gives you a giant space, giant window of time in order for you to get back into safety. If you place it here, while you know, it still takes in 3 autos, but like the gap between this and this is pretty small. I mean, he can close it by just simply leaping on you if you're stupid enough to stay after spotting him, right? But if the ward is that all the way down here, he not only has this window like I pointed out earlier, but he also has to walk all the way over here. You get it? It means that he has to commit more time in walking and clicking and wait, and like his buff durations, like that little bit of few seconds that he spends walking all the way over there to try to get a gank off, he loses time for his very short buffs, only like 2 minutes, you know. A couple seconds can make a difference. If he comes in with double buffs and then one of his buffs run out, you're a good Riven, you can completely turn around the trade if you do it right, you know. And the same applies for the enemy top laner too. If they decide to sweep this area, if it's up here, it means that they can return to their lane sooner. Whereas if it's all the way down here, they might miss a few CS trying to get that ward, and they have to walk all the way the fuck back, you know? So place it in the edge. The advantage, like, there's no disadvantage in placing the wards down at the edge. You gain more just by placing it down here. Why? Because placing it up here and placing it down here give the exact same amount of vision. What it does is, up here and down here, the entire bush is revealed no matter what. Like I could place it like close to this edge and I still get the entire bush. But what makes the difference is what's outside the bush is rewarded, is the reward. Out here gets a little bit more. You get a little bit of this, not so much of this. I mean, it's just like this tiny little gap. Maybe, I don't know, like shit. But it's like so small. Like oh no, I'm missing this much distance. It's black. What, is there a champion that's hitbox is so fucking thin that it could fit through this giant black thing? I'm also not even sure if there's this tiny little black thing, fog of war section in the first place. But you are rewarded by placing it in the maximum corner. And to do this, you just, you know, you just like not smart cast your ward, or just just click your ward in your inventory, then place it where the bush turns green. Because when it's outside the bush, it'll be blue, and then inside the bush is gonna be green. Okay, so he pops a pot when he's really high on HP. What this means is that he's, you know, aside from the fact that he really wants to wait, it means that he's using his pot, but it's not necessarily the correct time to use the pot, because he's not doing anything in general, so might as well just sit back here, play safe, and just let the wave push to you. Like, by activating this pot, it means that you're willing to take free damage for CS. In which case, if this creep wave is pushing towards you in the first place, you don't even have to pop the pot because you're going to be safe under your tower. And then by the time the wave gets to you, you will hit level 2. Now you have your shield. So all that pot, the entire duration of the pot is completely wasted. My only question is why she's not using her shield at all right now. Reason why she should have used her shield is because, well, aside from the mobility, you can also gain, like every ability that you cast gives you extra AD, so it assists in your ability to last hit. What the fuck was that? Like, what the fuck? Okay. What the fuck? Okay, so she got that CS. Now, this thing is at 91. Her AD is at 89. If she has the mastery, she's going to be able to last hit it. If she doesn't, oh well. The mastery being Feast and Butcher. Most players take that in the top lane for sustain and easier lasting, of course. So she gets that one. Now, how much HP did that one have? Alright. Okay, so right here, she uses her Q, right? This is already, she should be really patient on using her Q. Like in general, you want to use your Q as like a form of last hitting, not a form of like weakening the creeps, because when you attack, when mage minions are harder to last hit under the tower, because when they when they aggro these minions, you know, it makes it really hard, and then you have to auto them once, and then the tower hits them, then you auto them again, especially for mages, AD carries. Like every lane has that problem. Like mage minions are harder to last hit than the melee minions. You know, melee minions you just gotta wait for 2 auto attacks from the tower, then you auto attack it once, and you're done. By doing this, you know, you get them a little low, you have to right-click the fuck out of your animations, like, hella fast. And she gets it. Okay, that's fine. This one has 109, this one has 103. But, that's about to change. This gets to 97, this gets to 103. This gets to 91, this gets to 97. Wait. Oh, her third Q, right. She just used her third. No, she didn't. She has no AD. How the fuck did she get this, then? Fuck. Passive 1. Auto, lose the passive. Restart. Wait, no. Combo. Has used her broken rings twice already. Yeah. She misses that one. Ouch. She misses that one. She takes a trade. She should E right there. That's when I said it. Is that a cancel? I can't tell if that's a cancel or not, but the damage didn't come off, so it's probably a cancel. And then the third one, auto, that's gone. Oh, it gets low enough for her to last it. I'm retarded. Okay, yeah, it had 85, so her AD is correct. So, yeah, so she would not have missed it. And by activating Q and E, you know, if you activate E, then you auto. You can use one of your charges. If you E, then Q, which cancels the animation of Q, which is good because, you know, you use your E before all your other abilities to cancel the animation of the next ability. So if you EQ, which is one way to cancel your animation, you get 2 stacks and then you auto. So that's you'll lose DPS temporarily, but you cancel an animation, which makes your DPS smoother. In theory, there's so many like paper things on Riven that you can't really point out the replay, because there's no right versus wrong about her thing, other than the Q basic auto, Q auto, Q auto, Q auto combo. There's EQ and EQR and E Tiamat W, etc., etc. There's so many combinations. It's just knowing which one is correct at the right time. It separates the good Riven players from the amazing Riven players from the best Riven players. Why didn't she just... Okay, why didn't she just last hit that instead of just going in the bush? Hang on. Need to check that out again. Okay, so I'm going to see exactly how she played this trade out. Auto. Okay. Auto. Oh, she wants to attack the player. Okay, and then she doesn't use her third Q. Why? If you wanted to trade with the player, then why do you just not go all in? She is known, Riven's also known for her all-ins, if nobody can tell that. Like, you know, you see those crazy level 6 all-in from Riven. Hell, some Rivens can even all-in at level 2, level 3, etc., etc. But if you're going to trade with someone, commit. Don't just back out halfway. Because here's the reason why. If she chose to trade here, here's the issue. She gets this creep, auto, E, does nothing, absolutely nothing, gets 1 auto off, then Qs again, then backs off completely, loses her third Q, loses 1 extra auto, has 2 stacks of her passive unused, and then doesn't even go to last hit that minion. Like, what the fuck? Now, what could have been done there is, A, you go all in on that trade, make him burn one health pot, because he's got 5 and you've got 2 left. You have to burn all his, you know? Like, if you really wanted to fucking trade with him, you gotta burn his health potions, because he has a lot. If you want to kill him, you gotta burn through his health potions, because he's gonna activate him as soon as you start trading with him. So if you don't want to trade with him, just, you know, use your E and your Q to last it. Now you have W. So now W has a really brief standstill animation, in which you actually just you breathe. It's like a quarter, maybe an eighth of a second, but you stand still. And then you lift your hands up in the air and you stun them. So what you can do to cancel this ability is the simple method of casting your E, like I said before, your abilities. So if you EW, it cancels the little standstill animation, and by canceling the standstill animation, you're pretty much gonna guarantee that you dash in front of them and stun right away. Then you auto them, and then, you know, you get your ability off. It's really smooth. So continuing the play, auto, back up, because you've got a big minion wave, and if you try trading with him, like if you Q then auto, these minions will aggro you, and unless you have your shield up for a longer amount of time, you're gonna lose part of some of the damage that goes on you might make you lose the trade. So this cannon minion is a minion that everyone wants. So she casts W without casting E beforehand. So this is kind of like, it's a rookie mistake, but she would be better off casting E right away, because not only do you, the whole point of this is, what you want to do is you need to know that monitor capture. We need to know that is that both players do indeed want these cannon minions. They are very valuable assets to players. So how can you use the fact that everybody wants this to your advantage? Supply and demand, right? How can you use supply and demand to your advantage? You know, gas prices go up and shit like that. You know, everybody wants gas, so you knock up the prices so that you know, you drag in the competition or some shit like that, etc., etc. So because Rumble wants this, right? You know he's gonna be close to it, and you want this too, okay? But let's ignore that for now, because pretend this isn't here for now. You know that he wants this, so how can you abuse it? You do this. This is okay, right? You W them, but how can you abuse it more? What can you do better? How can you abuse it more? You dash, right? Then you W on top of him. This makes it really awkward for him. Why? Because if he chooses to continue committing on this cannon minion, right? It's so hard to see. If he chooses to continue committing onto this cannon minion, right? What this means is that he'll have to walk this way, you know, to get in range of it, right? And you're behind him and you're wailing on him. But he's not going to be paying attention to you. At most, he'll activate his W and maybe his E. But what's going to happen? Look at his resource bar. He can only cast so many spells. 40 heat, right? So yeah, I was right. 40 heat, and he's already at 75. What does that mean? If he casts one spell, he'd be at 95 heat. If he casts a second spell, he's going to be at 100 heat, which means he's overheated. It means that he will be silenced, but his auto attacks will hurt. Fuck his autos, who cares? He's silenced. He can't cast E. He can't cast cast his second half of E, but he can't cast Q to DPS you down, which means you can win the trade. So by E-ing forward, getting on top of him, first of all, you also have the chance that he's right-clicking like fucking crazy, right? So if you dash in front of him, he might accidentally right-click you instead of right-clicking this minion or this minion, which means that you might actually make him miss a CS. So there goes 16 gold, all because you E'd in front of him, potentially. Then you W him, stunning this minion too, right? So then he can't attack for like 0.75 seconds, right? So that means, let's say he wanted to auto attack this one, he might miss this one. He also will miss this one if you do the combo right. You E, you W, then afterwards you auto him, you Q, you auto, you Q, you auto, you Q, and then you auto him, like, you know, you do the full combo, and in response he has two options. Either sacrifice these two CS, pop a potion and run this way, or go for the CS, burn 2 of his abilities, not 3 of his abilities, and if he chooses the wrong abilities, he will lose the trade, because if he chooses to do Q and W, it means he won't have E, which means that he cannot slow you as you berate your entire combo upon him, and at the same time, if he chooses, okay, so if he chooses Q and he chooses W, you have your shield active, like I said, so you can tank that shit. If he chooses W, he has a shield, okay, no big deal, he runs fast, okay, cool. But most of the time, if he chooses Q, and he chooses E, he has to pick between only 2 of his 3 abilities. Using W is a must if he wants to live correctly. Live with take the least amount of damage and, you know, still pop a pot. If he chooses E, that means he can proc the second E. But if he chooses Q and E, he won't be able to, you know, tank your shit, because you might, as you're chasing him down and stuff, you'll have to tank these 2 minions down here. But it's okay if you win the trade and make him burn maybe 2 of his health pots, all because of a mistake he wanted to do this. He wants to, you gotta punish his mistakes. Okay, so do you see how much damage she did there? First of all, she completely fucked everything up. All right, let's do everything. Let's do it again. I'm gonna slow it down just to show you how poor. Like I said, this champion takes a lot of mechanical skill. So first, W auto. Great. I approve of that. She autoed in between to proc her passive. Okay, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Q. Okay, I'm gonna slow it down to 0.25 speed. Now she walks forward. Auto blocked by W. So he chose W and he chose Q. The fuck? He chose W and he chose Q. Now he's overheated, like I said. Fuck, hold on. So what the fuck is going on here? Hang on. Oh, his heat went down. Jesus. 45, 40. The fuck, was I wrong? No, his heat was at 70 fucking 5. Unless he already cast a spell. He cast a spell while I said 75 heat. Okay, so he just finished casting Q, which means that okay, so he E's. Okay, he W's. Oh, his heat starts to go down. Okay, I didn't expect his heat to go down. Anyway, ignoring the fact that all the stuff I said about Rumble is irrelevant then, because his heat went down. By his heat going down, it means that everything should be theoretically okay. But now let's focus on the Riven combo, because that's what I'm focusing on. This lesson's about. So he autos. He gets that is the first part of Q. Gets the damage in. Autos. That's fine. That auto is mitigated. He pops the W. This auto is mitigated by his W. But guess what? It gets broken no matter what, because the shield isn't that much. Break. Gets the Q in. But why does this Q not deal damage? What happens is when you play Riven, if you're right clicking in the direction, like, okay, so Box demonstrated like a verbal lesson with this combo and why some things don't work the way they work. So she must have had, like, it's likely that because she's facing this way, so it's likely that her mouse is in this vicinity. By putting her mouse over here, she runs through the target. If you right click and Q at the same time, you're gonna slam on top of the target. You kind of get it? So some people like Q, it's gonna look weird, but when you Q this way and you right click at the same time, you're gonna Q in this direction. If you Q and you right click on top of the target and you're like right here, you can Q while standing still. That is what separates this Riven from the other Rivens, because he missed one Q. And that's why the Rumble's HP didn't go down properly. So your DPS is really low right now. Continuing. Tab. Play. He gets an auto off. He dashes. He walks, stops. He cancels one auto. That right there made him miss. What is one of the reasons why I said he missed kill potential. Do you see how low this Rumble is getting? Now, had he had one more auto on top of him, he would be even lower. He still would have flashed. We know this is true because he did it regardless. But this would mean that in theory, Riven can chase after him, get one more auto off, and potentially that is it. That is game. That is a kill. Now, you have the option to all in. He's choosing to overstay. It's kind of hard, but you can do it. Good Riven has the option to do it. Flash W is very quick. She doesn't do it. She doesn't do any of the parts of the combo. In fact, there's also the third theory in which you can do the EWQ combo, because E cancels the W animation, and if you can also, there's two halves to the W animation apparently. It's on a video, but basically if you EW, you cancel the first half of the stun, and then the second half of the because when you W, you still stand still regardless. It's got like multiple phases. Basically, when you W, your character stands still to prepare the W, and that's animation 1. And when you finish casting the W, right, you lift your sword up, right? That's a poorly drawn animation, but after this little part right here is the second half. You stand still while doing it. So what can you do to cancel it? Well, if you EW, the first part of you standing still to prepare to cast it is gone. So you just dash cast, right? And if you EWQ, what happens is, instead of standing still for the second half, you just dash forward again. So it's kind of like you're just moving, and a stun just happens to be in the middle of the entire combo. So you could do this with any Q, right? So if you Q, then you Q. So she's Qing to last hit. Okay, that's cool. Afterwards, she can flash on top of him, dash WQ, and then get a few autos off and just go all in on the guy. Because the third Q is the one that knocks up, right? So if you dash, then you W, knowing that this guy has no flash, you dash, you W, he's stunned, you get a Q off, Without stopping, you don't add auto attack in between, because if you auto attack while after you do the W, you're gonna lose the animation canceling technique. So you EWQ, you get the full combo off. He's in the air, you get 1 AA off for free, and since you cast 3 spells at the same time without animation, without auto attacking, you get your AD plus 60, right? So you get 150 damage, and you know by dropping your E. By dropping your W and your Q on top of him, your third Q, because you know you missed the first 2, right? You use the first 2 as a diversion. Oh, I'm just last hitting, no big deal. Use my first 2 Qs to last it. Then you flash EWQ. Both of this combined damage plus 1 auto attack with 3 empowered passive stacks. That's maximum enough. That it does should do theoretically enough damage to kill this guy. Let's do it. Let's see if we can do the math. He's got 55 armor. Ignoring that, let's see. How much damage does that reduce? It doesn't tell me. Great. So third Q, dealing 10 plus 37 damage. So 47, then 81. 47, then 81. And then 91. Okay, 47 plus 81. So that's 128 plus 91. So that's 220, I believe. Yeah, that's 220. Maybe I have that wrong. Oh, oops. Fuck. Did I put 129? Then you get the empowered triple, right? So 279, and then potentially you can also get 1 extra auto off, like if you move forward and auto, right? So another 91 damage. So you're dealing about 300 and what the fuck is this? Did I just write it? Yeah, 279 plus 91. What the fuck? I wrote something wrong there. You have 370 damage, and then you're mitigated by armor. So you basically deal 4 health bars worth of damage. Well, what do you know? He has almost 4 health bars worth of HP. So you can basically kill him, but of course this is all in theory. So you have to actually be able to, you know your limits as Riven. Maybe if you hit level 4, it guarantees the kill, because he's not going to hit level 4 anytime soon. He has to commit to the CS, and you can also punish your opponents for trying to capitalize on CS. Look, it was just that easy. Like, okay, he didn't have to do the flashy combo, but if you really wanted to kill him right at that time when I said it, it's fine, but you got him now. Oh my god, that CS. Push the wave is fine. Okay, he TPs. Time the TP as 824, and then just go back to base. You don't need to pressure him anymore. In fact, that little dash dance right there maneuver, waste of time. She's still wasting time. Why is she wasting time? What the fuck are you? What are you accomplishing by doing all of this? You're at less than half health. He bought items. He has health pots. He's at full HP. He's at no heat. You got 20 gold. Congratulations. You're so great at your decision making. You have no potions. You just leveled up to 5. It's no big deal. Go back to your base. Buy a brutalizer, maybe a Tiamat, maybe a Hydra, maybe I don't know, or focus on your Hydra. Maybe a boot. Maybe a hex drinker. To duel the dude. Maybe get a bunch of wards and potions, but go back and buy, because right now you're just wasting your own fucking time. Like, what is the purpose of this? Like, truly, I have to ask. You have no health pots, and if she decides to back right now, no, she's not. Get the fuck back in the lane and CS. You have your shield. Good. Use your Q like that. That's it. That's right. Good. See, she's like, it's really risky. It's better to just take the safe approach. And a good Rumble would know how to pressure her even harder than that. Okay, is she recalling? Good. Brutalizer, 5 health pots, no wards. She had enough money for a ward. Oh, no. She had enough money for a pink ward. I'm sorry. Attack, move. Really? Just cast the R. It's not that hard. The really is what I mean is the flash on top of the target is what I'm just genuinely confused about. If she really wanted to do it properly, you can if you cast E before your R, the R has its own set of animations too. Basically what I call the cock, like how you cock a gun. You hold, she basically like pulls up her sword. And the part where the sword gets bigger, the part where the sword is going up is in animation. And if you dash, while you're dashing forward, the sword just magically becomes bigger. And if you by using ER, it cancels that animation. You can also do the alternative thing if you already cast your R. If you E, then use the wind slash part of R. You can dash while shooting it forward. So it's pretty cool what E can do as a Riven player. But she hasn't really done any of the E cancels yet, which doesn't really matter because she's already winning this lane like properly, you know? Like it's she could have won this lane a lot more convincingly. She also popped the pot for no reason. Yeah, so that little wall maneuver thing is really good because you actually go a lot farther than you think because you're technically hopping over a wall and it's actually a bigger distance than if you actually cast your regular R. You would probably cover only about half, maybe not even the full distance, but your hitbox is like literally hopping the fuck over this giant tower little block right there. So if you're ever escaping and you run past the tower, choose to hop over the tower because that little extra distance, you know, can save your life. She missed one, or I think she miscanceled one auto. I'm gonna have to backspace that up a little and play it again. Everything counts. The more you practice Riven, the more you can get used to the animation canceling. And no, she didn't miss it. Never mind. Okay, here's how you can pressure this player. Hang on. Okay, I want to see. Okay, well this alone is enough. Don't Q. Don't push the. Damn it. She needs to last hit it completely. Try to pressure her by freezing. Freeze in the middle because it makes it so that Rumble would have to get further into your area and then you could just all in him whenever he does. By freezing it around here or like around the middle area or hell even over here, if you do it here, obviously this is the safe zone because you're closer to your tower and also if Vanguard comes you'd have to commit pretty hard. At this point, in theory, a good Riven could 2v1 against a Vanguard. Like, it's a possibility. I don't know. I'm not good enough. I don't have enough mechanical training on Riven to actually know if she can do it because I also don't know if I would have itemized the same way, etc., etc. Okay. Yep. Like all this is really straightforward now. Since she's winning the lane, what she should do is you can pressure your lead more by forcing your enemy top laner to keep coming up top lane and keep feeding by not killing the enemy tower and just proxying the wave. It's a dick move to proxy the wave, but it's the right decision. If she destroys the tower now, you give the Rumble the option to heavy freeze farm right over here and catch up. And that's not what you want to do as Riven unless you're choosing to roam. And when you choose to roam, well, you gotta roam correctly, otherwise it's a waste of time. Kill the tower before he has the chance to teleport. No, just hit it once. Now fight him. Turn around. Okay, hang on. You can fight this. You can fight this. If he flashes like that, be patient on your third Q. In theory, he should have known that the flash would come up because in the perfect world, in terms of VODs, if I were coaching this player, he would actually write down the timer on the flash and be like, okay, well, if I'm gonna all in him and I know he has flash, then I'm gonna expect a flash, and when I see the flash, I can follow up. You should also know that like 8:24 was his teleport time, but then he didn't teleport to lane. He walked to lane, so that means he still has his teleport, which means that Rumble could theoretically have gone bot, made a roaming play, and that's what you want to do. If you freeze correctly, you force the enemy to either you know get shit on, or you force them to roam. You change their mindset if you freeze it correctly, but this player doesn't seem to like to freeze. Let's see what she buys. She better not finish whatever Brutalizer's build it into. Brutalizer's just enough. 2100 gold. Theory Tiamat could be good, but boots are nice too. If you're really safe, you'd build Merc trades. Like if you're like a safe top laner, but you know, since you're kind of fed, you'd probably go ballsy and get Ionian, and then you would get Hydra, or just focus your Hydra basically. Don't even give a fuck about Ionian because best Riven NA doesn't build that shit. Doesn't care. Yeah, Ionian. But the only issue is that this player did not purchase potions. Wards are okay. Oh, she upgraded the stealth totem. I didn't see that. That's fine.
there's nothing wrong with upgrading the totem to stall. It's a top laner kind of thing. But she should have at least gotten one potion just in case that they try to gank her. And like whenever you try to trade with someone, always pop a potion if you know that the trade is going to be an extended trade, because in an extended trade it's going to happen. Usually Riven's like a quick burst, and Rumble's a champion that would focus on extended trades, but your trades are longer than his because your abilities come up quicker. So you tend to trade more and fight more. Since you're ahead, this is also the case. Okay, he popped his ult. Know that. Means that he has one less tool at his disposal in order to fight you. Which means he only has, you know, Q, W, and E. So do you think you can beat him? Highly likely. Do you think you'll have to flash for it? No. Why? Because he doesn't have flash. He only has W. Just means that you have to know your damage. Think about his shield. Think about what he can do to you. Now, I noticed that you haven't used your teleport. Let's look to see, like, every now and then you want to check out where your allies are pinging to see if there's a teleport option. Is there a teleport option right now? Probably not. But you gotta keep in mind that this dragon is also a very valuable asset, because to you, it just means 6% more damage. Which means you killed your targets 6% sooner. And that's nice, you know? 6%, man. Okay, pause here. Pause here. Can't pause. Legit cannot pause. Anyway, dragon's coming up, but there are no there are no wards for you to flank under, so you just have to ignore it. If anything, by keeping pressure up at top lane, you might be able to draw the jungler's attention towards you, and if you can 2v1 them, it means that no one can deal with you without sending at least 3 or 4 top. And if they send at least 3 or 4 top, you know, that means you're doing your job right. If your team is able to take global objectives or something off of it. I really fucking hate Baron replays. Jesus, I can't even pause. They missed 1 Q. Okay, that ulti, turning on the ulti and shooting would not have been needed. Okay, first of all, you can turn on your ulti, which increases your actual AD. Your base AD increases when you turn on your ulti by a significant amount. So that means that in theory she could have just turned on her ulti for the threat of damage and not use her wind slash to kill the Lux unnecessarily. And then the Rengar comes in and then he wind slashes the Rengar 1v1. You know, it's just kind of got lucky with that double wind slash double kill. But now that she's this far ahead, yeah, Hydra's fine. Now Hydra is an item that definitely helps cancel the animations for Riven. You can Hydra before you W, and in particular using your W is what cancels what it cancels the most. If you Hydra then W, wait, why didn't she just teleport? She has opportunities to teleport like right here. What the fuck? Why didn't she just TP? She could have just joined the fight and like wiped them all out. Sure, she doesn't have ult, but she could have wiped them all out. If anything, she could help this Teemo survive and maybe steal the dragon if done sooner. What the fuck? Well, there goes teleport. Anyway, continue on. Hydra, by pressing Hydra W, you know, you cancel the standstill and the first half of the animations, and then it's like a huge burst of damage because you add Hydra with your W damages. It's pretty cool looking too. You get like these 2 circular spinning orange things, and it's like boom. And of course, you can do like I said with the EWQ combo, you can E Hydra W, and it will indefinitely look not only awesome and it counts as a burst of damage, but it does indeed cancel the animation more smoothly. Of course, this kind of depends on your. Okay. Why? Hydra was really awkward right there. See this W? See that W didn't actually connect with the target because of the standstill animation, which gave them ulti. Oh god. I said ulti, I didn't say shoot the ulti, just like ulti to proc the shit on. She really needs to proc the, because proccing the ulti itself gives you base AD. Shooting the wind slash is an execution kind of thing, kind of like the second half of Lee Sin's Q. You only shoot it if it's necessary. Kaboom!
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Riven's also excellent at split pushing.
She is working on something else. Probably BT, probably. BT's the theory. Last Whisper. This is the longsword is getting to me. Phage lol. Black Cleaver lol. Oh god. She Hydra'd, then W'd, instead of doing both exactly at the same time. Because it looked really unclean right there. So I'm gonna back it up and watch her play it again. Unless that's actually how it's supposed to look now. I'm not sure. I'll have to make a custom game right after and check my theory. Like, is that actually how? Like, did he do the Hydra W combo or what? Okay, that's what it's supposed to look like. Yeah, yeah. It's like it's like super fast, super smooth. Let me go play it in slow motion. It's always been like this. Hang on. Yeah, it's like simultaneous, right? So, oh, she does it up here. It's just why did it look like it wasn't smooth? I don't know. Yeah, that's the correct animation for it. It's very definite. It's very good when you're pushing a wave because you just gather all up at once and look, they all just get shit on, and then you just auto attack or Q a few times and they're all gone. They're donezo. Okay, so you notice that Rumble has already used the CP in theory because if mid lane, if you were looking at mid lane, you would have seen that Rumble had TP'd mid because Ezreal shoved the lane up, and you should have seen it. So that means that you have all the rights to pressure because to pressure top because now that Rumble's bottom, that means he can't teleport back on top, and there's two other people bottom, and if Lux is mid, that means the only person missing is Rengar. And since Rengar is lower level than you and he doesn't have as much items, even though he's 7-1, you can still take him down because you're much stronger as Riven. You're just as strong as he is. He's 7-1, you're 6-1. What's the difference? 1 kill? Who cares? You got 40 CS up. 40 CS? That's like 2 kills. So you're like what, 8-1, and he's like what, 7-1? You know, shit. In fact, no, he has more gold. Why does he have more gold? More towers? Yeah, they have more towers. It doesn't matter if they have more towers or not. Regardless of whatever happens, blue team wins the game. Let's see how red team can fuck up their lead. Okay. Okay. Nope. You didn't get the stun off. Nope. Yep. That's what went wrong. So you can stun while he's jumping on you because he'll be next to you, but you also have to know that if you use your fucking Hydra and W at the same time, like I said, it cancels your animation. Therefore, you can get the thing off. By standing still, he wasn't even in range. Like, you were running away, and then you stood still, then you cast your W, and he wasn't even in range for the stun. So, kind of messed that combo up right there. At the same time, if you really wanted to split push, this ward here alone isn't enough. It's good, but you know that Rengar has stealth. And in theory, a solo Q ward is right here if you place it at the edge because it can reveal this area. Most people used to pink this area because nobody really checks this bush. Not especially the edge of this bush. Some really good, really like cheesy but good people would sneak in here and get a pink ward here early. Nobody checks it, right? And everybody always enters this bush, because they think this is warded. But in here is the real threat. That's where a pink ward goes, right? And if you place it there, you can get a glimpse of the guy doing red, you can get a glimpse of him going up, going down, etc., etc. It's like a pathway to all the camps on one side of the map. So you've got the center of one side of the map, of 1/4 of the map covered. So if you pink ward there, you would know that he's coming, and then you know that he would stealth, and you have a ward here, so if he stealths behind you, you know that it was coming, and of course you have 3 wards at your disposal, right? So 1, 2, and 3, basically all bushes, and then your pink ward as your 4th one, and you're basically safe split pushing. You know when to back up, that's what it teaches you, split pushing, when to back up, when to play aggressive, when to pressure, and you also know where your enemy is. Oh my god, that right there would just screwed you over. This is one of the things with chasing with Riven. Ulti! Yeah. She ulted, then dashed. And like I said earlier, you can dash and ult, and your ult will be ready. This is just pure luck. Like the fact that she just got the second half of Q off. Why did she back up? Like legit, why did she back up? That... Flash dash W. You've got a Maokai on his way. That's fine. These combos are performed awkwardly. It's as if the player actually doesn't know the combos. I swear to God. That's fine. Oh my God, the Hydra. Like, there has to be like some kind of way to get the person to use Hydra before the W. It's just like that. It just makes the Hydra much more efficient. Also, she was using like EQW dash some shit. You could perform a much smoother combo there. She missed that. I would have been so surprised. Equalizer? Nope. God damn it! Again, she stood still. She missed one auto attack of DPS, just one, but it would have been sooner, like one auto attack sooner. Why? Why the fuck would she just use the wind slash right there? Wait for them to appear. Maybe use it on the enemy hero or enemy champions instead of just blindly pulling it out of your ass. The fuck? She's kind of overextending herself. Like at this point, it's the part where you know that Riven is really strong. But the thing is, while you're doing all this roaming and crazy playmaking and stuff like that, you're trying to force too much. Because you just took in like a shit ton of kills, so you should probably go back, get more items, and push out your top lane. Like know when you have to, like what separates this player from other sections is she does make crazy shit happen, but she's not recalling to maximize her lead. She's got like 4 kills and then she does nothing. Like she got a tower, okay, but they could have gotten that tower without her, theoretically, if they extended like what 2 waves, okay. But they could have taken it without her, while she pushes out top lane, adds more pressure to the enemy team, then uses her, something called teleport to her advantage. No, continue pushing top instead of wasting your time, Gromp. Take the next wave out so that this wave doesn't get damaged, so you have a stronger creep wave to ram into the tower. Ugh. By taking that Gromp, you change your decision-making plan. You could have just kept pressuring top because they would have to answer to you. Dragon isn't coming up anytime soon. I also don't have timestamps, but I know Dragon's not up soon because it's not respawning up here live. Because if Dragon were coming up soon, you wouldn't be top, you'd be coming down, so you can contest the Dragon. That makes sense, right? Because you want that 3rd Dragon because move speed is one of the most ideal things on Riven. Move speed can, increase your chasing potential. Riven is known for her mobility, so you can use that to full maximization. This is heavy. It's not like anyone wanted bot lane farm anyway, but the thing is, like, in theory, just give that to someone who needs it and just freeze it for them. Like, your entire team is really far behind in farm, so help your brothers out. What is this Tom Kench? Well, Rivens are very good at flanking. I like how she's trying to position herself for a flank position. The thing is, wards and teleportation, if you're pushing top and then you just teleport to a ward that is ready to flank the opponents, that's also an option too. Theory, this is why home guard boots are really good. Okay, so she went down. We don't know that Rengar was coming mid, but she went down. She could have had she went down, then she went back up. She could have had the option to go back up, or she could have had the option to stay down there and fight Rumble. Because Maokai and Singe were coming. So this is the part where I say ask yourself if your team really needs you or not. And in this particular instance, yeah, they actually needed her because they seem hopelessly lost without her. Like she is actually doing all the work. She has hold on, let me see how this oh good job. You waited. Either that or they was just coming up, but she waited patiently for the kill. Haha. That was pretty good. But she had 75% of the kills and has roughly still 75% of the kills. So without her, they're basically lost, hopeless, helpless sheep. They can't do anything without their own because they're so highly intellectual. And at this point, this is what you need to know. You have to choose. This is why you have to itemize correctly on Riven. you're the big, you're 75% of your team's kills, which means that they're probably, if they want to end the game, the enemy team, they just have to focus you, and then the rest of their team doesn't do enough damage to win the team fight. You know, because they were struggling without you, then you came and you became the hero they needed. But if the hero that they need isn't there, then what happens? They got to step it up, right? So they're gonna rely on you to be the hero that they need when the hero that they need every single time. So just build one defensive item. Banshee's Veil would be a very nice option for you. Hell, Merc Treads, well, Merc Treads is too late right now, but Banshee's Veil, Hex Drinker, Mercurial Scimitar for hard CC like Lux. You know, get some magic resist. Maybe even a Randuin's, because some people get Randuin's on Riven too. You go in, you stun them, then you slow them so you can never stop chasing them. They're gonna be like, what the hell? You know what I mean? Like, it makes you more durable. And the longer you last, the more combos you're able to pull off, and the longer you last, the more you can fight. You know, so because it makes it hard. They have to commit more resources to kill you, and if you're so squishy already without defensive items, you know, it's easier for them to kill you. Now this ward, remember when I said edge of the bush? Just place it down here so you can see more of the ramp, more of this section right here. This dark section does matter because well, this is their ward, but you know what I mean. Like this little section right here does matter. Because it's less about this because you still see parts of it, but it's more towards this area because you want to see towards here. Now my question is, why does she choose to go down this way instead of actually running straight down into this bush and just hiding over here? But whatever, it's already been decided. Whole point is to contest dragon. I mean, I guess it counts as safe, but Singe kind of... You want to just stick next to Singe because Singe is kind of durable. Kind of. Doesn't even have Rod of Ages. What the fuck? Hey, they got their first dragon, lol. Turn on your ult, and you can definitely turn this around. Yeah, see?
Blue team quadra kill.
This Rumble really knows when to use his equalizer. He's clearing waves, and that's really important when it comes to playing Rumble. That is greedy as fuck. You can let this guy tank in, then ping assistance. Bloodthirster's a nice item buy. But what she could have just done is escape the range of the tower, then ping assistance, and like ping the ground a shit ton of times and say, or even type out because you got like 2.5 seconds if you type fast enough. Type tank for me, and then you go let him tank for you because he's pretty fucking durable. And then you just go in yourself and get the kill. Or you know, you can also let him go and, you know, get that tower. That's an option too, because objectives are really important in this game, aren't they? Like, it wasn't necessary for him to dive so hard. But if he did, since he already chose the decision to, I had to just say something about it, about how to perform that dive more effectively. And this is where communication plays a role. Ah, there's the pings. What lane to pressure versus like what area to pressure? She could take red if she wanted, but what she needs to do. Okay, so what the hell is this building into? Mercurial? Oh yeah, GA is a defensive item. There we go. Totally forgot about that. She could pressure top, like walk up the top because it was gonna be pushed out. It had to be pushed out. It was gonna be answered by eventually. Then you just push it back. Okay, good timing on the Zhonya's. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like she knew when the Zhonya was gonna end. Just head to mid. Stop. Oh, okay. There's no way there's gonna be a. Never mind. Lol. No, stun! What the fuck? Why didn't you just stun him? You guys have 3v1 potential. Lol. Yeah, see? She's afraid. Right there, like, you can stun him midair. He'll still deal damage, but he can't move for that brief second, so he can't cast his next ability. Then you can just shield past him, and if he uses his E, he's gonna miss his skill shot because you E past him, and then you just all in him. Since you have the potential to fucking murder him, you might as well murder him the right way. Don't kill the Lucian. Try to focus your tower. Well, you'd have to kill Lucian to get the tower out, but if you put him out of commission, you can focus the tower with no problem. Just like weaken him or scare him away, basically. But if they had more members of their team, they probably would have killed you. What the? Oh well, that doesn't matter. Why'd she stand still for a period of time like that? I fast forwarded by 8 times speed, and she just stood still for a long ass period of time. Why? Like, I would have just recalled. Like, again, what's the fucking purpose of this? Is she AFK? They're not gonna be able to, well, I don't know. Let's see how it happens. Captain Boots. Importance of defensive items, eh? Mercurial Scimitar is not a bad option, especially if you get caught out by Lux, because you know that binding is probably the key to your life and death. But also, like Guardian Angel or Randomins, you know, those are also fine defensive items too. Ooh. All right. They're probably pinging, let's stop dicking around and win the game. Because I'm pretty sure that's what's happening right now, since this is always, it's going to be a win. Must be really awesome to have a match history where you look up someone's like, hey, how'd you do? Oh, I went 1-7 and I won. I went 1-8 and I lost the entire lane. I was down by 120 CS and like 4 levels of my enemy mid laner. But we still won the game. Okay, see how this Fiend fight phase out. I can't pause it, but what I can say is that she doesn't need to stay on the targets that she's an assassin. She should be jumping in the back line and fucking up the back line. She doesn't need to fuck up the front line, because the front line doesn't matter to her when she fucks up the back line. Front line is there to protect the back line, but if she fucks up all the back line, what the fuck did the front line do? She can probably fuck up she can fuck out everything up, just regardless. But I'm just saying she has the ability to like 100-0 the back line easily. And if you do it right, flash W E W Q, flash E Tiamat WQ, ulti, you're pretty much set. Ulti win slash, not just like ulti, but yeah. Wow, that Mercurial activate. Cast. Q backwards, then cast it. What the fuck? Fight. Look how afraid they are. These dodges aren't that bad. I swear, is this fucking ranked or some shit? It's kind of weird if this is ranked. Nobody even upgraded their trinkets on the left side. Great ELO, great game, guys. Probably normal. Huh. Anyway. And in theory, if they were actually coordinated enough for this, she can use her teleport to let the minion tank a tower. 15, 25, 35, 5 for masteries, 40. If anything, she needs 50 or a couple percentage on runes, and she's pretty much set for 40. Rivens always have 40% CDR. It's the right thing to do. Yeah, Yuma's Ghostblade last item. So I would sell Ghostblade for Guardian Angel.
Red team's inhibitor.
Use your abilities to get back to lane faster. It counters dashes. Okay, this Rumble's equalizers sometimes are really dumb. Mercurial right there would have been easy. To cleanse the thing. Tom Kench just came from out of nowhere. Da 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 da. Oh. Oh. What is this?
Shut down. Shut down. Godlike.
This is a very interesting word. And I'm not against this at all. That flash is pretty good. I wasn't against any of that. That was fairly fine. That's a flank for position. She totally didn't expect that from coming. This is also why home guard boots also would have been good. You'd have just ran the hell over there and just like wrecked them. Yep. Okay, that's it for my stream. I guess that's all I can cover. How long was it? It was only an hour 12. Okay. This is Daniel Veggiematic10, and you can follow me on Facebook at facebook.com/LOLveggie, and on Twitter at LOLveggie as well to catch more of my updates for all these coaching sessions. Thank you for watching, and have a good night.